I remember seeing like, I want to say it was like an Eggo commercial, and it was like the white guy, and he's making the Eggo. Then he had the black wife, and then when he got to the table for breakfast, it was like the Chinese kid and the Indian kid and the whatever kid. I'm sitting here like I don't even. What are we doing here? It's even about waffles.
What if they were adopted? Family is family. Family is family.
I'm not. It is no.
The Sophisticatedly Ratchet podcast is a roundtable conversational podcast that gives a voice to the Black experience.
Millennials from New York City sharing our views on Black lifestyle, culture, relationships, religion, and current events.
Here at SR, we strive to give our listeners the real in a world of fake.
Worldly professionals with class that also know how to switch it up.
Now let's talk our wild shit.
Cool. All right. So real quick, before we even get on to like the next talking point, TJ, you mind hitting
Drop
us with a
my
little 20 real quick? I appreciate you, Queen.
Drop my music.
Got
What
you,
up,
bro.
tribe? Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the SoRatchet podcast. So stands for sophisticated. Don't forget that we are sophisticatedly ratchet, and you are too. And we're going to refer to you as the tribe. Thank you, tribe, for listening to another episode. Happy Wednesday. You can listen to our episodes everywhere you hear podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon has podcasts, and we're everywhere. Just ask Alexa.
I don't say no.
Yes. Then you can hop over to our social media. We're on IG at SoRatchet Podcast. We're on TikTok at SoRatchet Podcast. We're on Twitter at SoRatchet Pod, and on YouTube where you can see our beautiful and handsome faces and our special guest season dialogue. We're at SoRatchet Space Podcast on YouTube. Thank you guys. We have merch.
Make sure
Click the link in our bio. And
click that like button. Click that like button.
Hit the like button. Hit the follow button. The notifications button. All the buttons to support us and share us with a friend.
Your TJ.
Yeah.
Every time you be naming a social media platform, but then you give it like a sex spin to it. I think you said Cockcast today or some shit like that.
I always fuck it up.
Yeah, she like Twitter, Cockcast.
Yeah.
I did be seeing her like, where her mom be? Like like Facebook, she be like face palm and shit. I'm like,
it's been a minute.
All right, we hear you, Queen.
Single and free tribe. Holla at your girl though. Shoot us a DM. Okay.
Shoot her a DM. Yes. All right. So I want to get to a talking point for this episode. All right. Now, one of the talking points that I had, and I wanted this talking point too because I know it has affected one of us, somebody in this room. Matter of fact, maybe a couple people. Now that I think about it, but I want to know, and this question is for y'all and the tribe too. How would you feel if someone stole your sauce? And now I asked this question because I'm gonna tell you somebody just got their sauce stolen recently. All right. It's actually, I guess. And so I want you to go first, Miss Marie, and tell us, how would you feel if someone stole your sauce?
Stole your sauce.
Talk about it. This is trauma bonding. Let's go. Come on.
Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
For sure.
You know what? I had, oh my goodness. I had like, the first day I had like 15 people in my inbox telling me that someone had set up a fake page.
Oh, wow.
And they were asking for money. They, doing readings. I was so disappointed in it. I actually had 2 people who thought it was me and sent a person $75 for a reading.
Wow.
I was so disgusted. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was hurt. Because number one, I never solicit for any money. Right. Number 2, they blocked me. So I wasn't able to see this page that, mirrored my page. And then third, it's like, who are you and why?
Right.
Why?
That's
And I
wild.
mean, they copied
They're desperate.
verbatim about 25 videos going down to emulate my page. And every time that I change my profile picture, they change theirs as well. So it's the thing, like, they follow me and I don't know who they are. So anything that I do, they copy and paste.
Wow.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Would you? And this is just a open question for you, at least Marie. But would it bother you more if it was a white person that was doing it versus like a black person? Just to be honest.
I don't care what color you are.
Okay, you want your whole soul.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. But you know what? But that begs the question, right? So, even if it was, because I'll say this, just like a few years ago with a lot of the creators, black creators who were making up dances, and then white people were coming behind them. They were, with their time doing all of this. If someone showed me or presented to me a white woman emulating myself, I would feel some type of way.
Absolutely.
I would definitely feel some type of way because this is who I am 24/7. So who are you? You know?
Facts.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. All right. Who else?
I ain't even gonna lie. There's a whole difference between somebody copying my stuff and putting it all on their page, as opposed to them kind of like emulating me or like doing some of the stuff that I do. Because you got to expect that in today's society.
Yeah.
That people are gonna copy you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't go crazy about somebody copying my style. You know what I'm saying? But I would go crazy if somebody just copy my images and put it on the page. That would make me upset. And I would go in there and I would try to I would tell all my people, go on the page and make sure you complain about the page because this is a copy. They're stealing my identity at this point. You know what I mean? So it's different.
Yeah, I like when you say that shit, it definitely got me thinking of even like all the stuff in AI where you see them copying somebody's voice to make a song. They did some joint recently where they used Drake and The Weeknd. They put their voice on a song, and it was you muted Mash, but they put them on a song together, and the track.
I love that song. That shit is fire. That shit is.
I don't know it.
So this is the thing.
I'll find it.
And that's my problem with this, because somebody will probably go and see, Lisa Marie's page, and that's gonna be their first reaction. This is fire, like whatever this is. She's creating this black content, and it's super dope, and people will gravitate to it. But yet, if she's not the one that's delivering that, somebody definitely is looking for a come up off of all the work that she's doing. Let me point you in the right place. Sorry, but yeah, all the work that she's doing. So part of me is like, nobody's ever gonna necessarily look past the first, interaction with like some of these pages, because how many. And I think I almost got caught by this a few times. I think I followed a page of a tech influencer, and I was saying like, oh, he's putting out dope stuff that I like, and then I saw him follow me back, and when I saw him, I was like, oh, he probably looked at either saw something that I did, whatever the case is, but then that's me not paying attention, and there was a certain type of a gratification I got where it was like, oh shit, this person sees me, you know what I'm saying? And when I actually just looked closer at the name, it was like, why is this the way that you spell it though? Because I think it was just one letter off or something like that. So it forced me to, and I followed the account already. That once again, I saw the follow, so it already made me go into the account. But then once again, I'm looking at just something seems off or something's not right. And just to find out, like, no, there are people who are making these accounts, and there are people who are not going to look or pay attention, and they're going to follow, that account, and just to be, gotten out of their money, whatever the case is. So I think it's very easy to get got. I don't think it's right. And I would feel if somebody did steal my sauce, I'm not going to be honest. Part of me wants to feel flattered that somebody.
I was gonna say that word.
Yeah, but it's also, once again, when you to be emulated or to find somebody that inspires you, and maybe you because I think that's what we all do. We gain something each person. But then when it's like you don't even want to do any type of work to make your own anything, that bothers me. But that's all I got to say. I'm complete. Sorry.
Right.
You muted Nash or somebody. Go ahead,
Mo.
Yeah, I don't think I've really experienced that, but if somebody is trying to emulate you to a certain, it is kind of a flattery thing, but I haven't had anybody that just really like try to, I guess, copycat or really infiltrate me. Shake, I do remember one time, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, that didn't somebody take your page and was asking people for
money,
cash out or something like that?
Scamming them was gonna scam them.
Yeah.
Right.
But they actually
I know
stole my page.
They stole his page. Wow. So I try. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it's crazy that people can actually steal your entire page, and that happened to other people too, where they have to like really fight Instagram to get their page back. So it's crazy. So that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
I agree. I think that imitation is a form of flattery. I get that 100%. I also think that it's a part of your popularity. I think that that's one of the downfalls of being popular. The people want that popularity. They want to have that same impact that you have, and they're going to do whatever it takes to be able to get to that level. And Lisa Marie, I'm sorry you had that experience, and I'm sorry that your people got scammed out of that bread. I hope that they still fuck with you after that. It wasn't your fault, right? It had nothing to do with it.
It's different.
But the other part of that is like knowing that you could do it again. Like, like it's imitation of your greatness, and only you can decide where that limit is. Right. It gives you a chance to be able to finesse your skills a little bit better, because like niggas is onto this one, so I got to find a new way to do it. And I got to be completely honest with you, Lisa Marie. I love your content, and it inspires me to make my content better with my spoken word, because your spoken word is fire. I edit the shit out of my spoken word. Your spoken word is one take, one clip, run, and I'm like, damn.
Lisa Marie, they don't see the hard work. They don't see the hard work.
They don't see it.
I get what it takes to be able to have a monologue and do it in one recording. I understand that, and that inspires me to want to be better at my craft. So that's what I would like to think that our content does for people who aren't as talented. It inspires them and uplifts them, but that's not always the case. And some people take the short road and they steal, and that's when it becomes a bad thing. At least I think.
Yeah. Scammer them going scam. Scammer them going scam.
Scammer them there.
Everybody went.
Everything that you guys said is what I agree with. I did feel it as it's somewhat flattery, but I also think it's also money hungry. You are very successful. You have a lot of followers. Your content is amazing. And so I can see other people just trying to monetize off of it. And so that's kudos to you. You created something that is of value and obviously profitable because you have followers. So have you thought about you don't do readings, right? So
they gave her a whole superpower. Look, now are you going to start doing readings, Lisa?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, clearly there's a network for it. You got people who want it,
Yeah. But if that's not your gift,
that's right. That's not my gift. That's not my gift.
And your followers are going to definitely see that, because I know I do. I feel like you're very genuine, and what you put out is very transparent and thought-provoking and inspirational. So thank you.
Thanks.
Just real quick, I'm not sure if y'all heard this song, but this shit is fire.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
You have to hit play first.
That might help. This is the AI song.
This is the fake song they created.
She know what she need, I need, or she blessed, give it my best. Got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back.
I mean, I feel like I can hear that it's not him.
No way, you're capping. That's the song.
Oh my God!
It sounds like he's using auto tunes, and
he does all the time. You got to remember, with all this audio, even for what we got to do to edit podcasts or what I got to put on the podcast as far as like filters and processes. Trust me when I say most of this stuff is digitized. What you get as the end result is never going to be necessarily what you feed into the mic. So the fact that they just know how to replicate a voice and they're using, once again, very good models. If you're into how these models learn how to do these things, they have so many samples of people's voices. And I'm not gonna hold you, Lisa Marie, don't be surprised if somebody samples your voice and uses your voice, and next thing, that fake page that you seeing is going to be like, you're
Has
gonna be
your
like,
voice.
I never said that. I never said that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's real. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So it's just something, once again, that we just got to be conscious of, because either we're going to accept the fact and question that everything is fake, or we're gonna have to say, hey, how do I discern between what's real and what's fake, or how do I at least do some more searching?
So to piggyback on that, I want to piggyback on that statement, Flash. You're making a great point. Anybody who has a social media platform where their voice is digitized, you are susceptible to this type of, wave.
Yeah.
And people can get clips of your voice and have a script read, and take it to the next level, which is even scarier. Someone can emulate your voice, write a script, send it to your family or friends, and then they would think it's really you talking.
Right. It's scary.
They could trick your family. They could trick your kids. Like, hey, open the front door. Daddy's here. And let them in the crib thinking it's you, hearing your voice. So it's important that we come up with like code words for each other, so we can know who we are and identify ourselves to keep ourselves from being, taken advantage of in that way.
It's just so crazy. That's just crazy.
How are you going to use the code word? You're going to use it in every conversation you call them in?
I'll be like, yo, what's the code? You got to say drip, drip.
Right.
What's the code? Drip, drip. Okay, there you go. That's mad.
You know what's going to suck? Look, tell me why. This is just my ratchet thought. Matter of fact, I feel like there's going to be a app or something, and I hate to be biased, but I'm sorry you guys see this part of me, listen to me, but I feel like a woman is going to use some samples of her man's voice to do some wild shit, as far as like open up his phone or say, hey, call Big Booty Judy, or whatever the case is. Hey Siri, call Big Booty Judy. Hey Alexa, give me the phone call log of my man's last 10 months of calls. Like, it's gonna get crazy out here.
That's scary.
And maybe that's just
it's a good thing. It's a good thing that that your phone doesn't open based off of your voice. So
not yet.
Not yet.
Right, exactly. Not yet.
You need my fingerprint, my dude. I've always been scared that they're gonna take my finger and put it on the phone while I'm sleeping.
Look. Anyway, but yo, all right. Let me get to the next talking
Being
point.
straight and narrow, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Hush up, TJ.
Moving on.
Yo. All right. So look, next talking point that I want to talk about, though. How do you feel when white people play black roles of characters? Well, all right, let me say, how do you feel, I guess, when white people play black roles and black people play roles of characters who are, I guess, historically white? And we see different movies where people kind of get upset or whatever. I don't care if it's Cinderella. I think Brandy had a rendition before, The Little Mermaid. They also had Gods of Egypt, I believe, where some white men played Egyptians, and this and the third. Some people get even real, I guess, butthurt if it's like Spider-Man or something like that. There's a black Spider-Man or a mixed
white
Spider-Man,
chicks.
this and third. Right. So I just want to know, I guess, what are your feelings as far as when you see that? Anybody can go.
I'll start. I'll say, back in the days, like 2008, when Tropic Thunder, it's like, okay, whatever. When Cinderella came out, I felt like it was inclusive. It was the prince was like
Arabian or something,
kind of like I think he was Asian.
Yeah.
I think he was Asian or something.
Specific.
Yeah.
Or Pacific Indian, or I forgot what they call
somewhere
it. Asian.
I haven't seen Cinderella.
Yeah, so they were all different, and I was like, okay, it's nice that they brought a lot of different cultures to make it inclusive. I heard the Little Mermaid was the same way. I didn't watch the Little Mermaid.
Yes, Little Mermaid was amazing.
For it to be inclusive, I enjoy that. However, right now, how I stand, and I feel this way, Mo and I have had this conversation before, but like now I feel like there's so many actors with so much amazing talent. Why not find a black person to play the black role? Why not find the right character or race to play that role? And also all the way down to the dialect. Like Mo and I talk about this, like when it comes to like Jamaican, because we are of Caribbean descent. So when we hear a bad Jamaican accent, How was Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, by the way? It's disappointing.
He
It's
was
very
he,
disappointing.
he was
But his-
Sebastian was okay in The Little Mermaid. He was
Okay.
he was okay.
But you know, Sebastian had a trashy accent all the way since
He
the
did.
cartoons.
He did.
I
since
felt
the
like they
cartoon.
tried to keep it in the same like
he
realm.
did.
They didn't want to make it like actual like real. And then you know you could just act like you they never said he was Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? We don't know where the accent really.
But it would have been
Right.
nice if it was an authentic Caribbean accent.
Yes.
But you know, but it could.
That's my
it could
biggest
be.
issue.
I could be because I don't know if you ever met people from Aruba. Their accents are kind of like weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't know that if I heard it. You know what I mean?
But that's to me, and that's how I feel like we disrespect ourselves in a certain degree, talking about people playing certain things. As far as, and I could give 2 instances. How Stella got her groove back. Love the movie. Why did y'all pick Taye Diggs to play that role? You could have found. You could have found a Jamaican accent.
Yeah, no, he was not.
No.
Yo, no, people loved him in that movie.
They
bro.
did.
They
That's what I
loved
said.
him.
They did.
Loved him.
They did. He tried.
He was a really
as
good actor.
I love Taye
push
Diggs.
him.
Just like, and people could crucify me for this. I love Angela Bassett, but in the movie Biggie, I feel that I could have found the perfect person to play his mother, which should have been Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is Jamaican. Why didn't they pick Cheryl Lee Ralph? She is a Jamaican lady. She was born in Jamaica. She represented, his mother was Jamaican. Why did we pick Angela Bassett? I love Angela Bassett, but Angela Bassett is not of the Jamaican descent. Pick Cheryl Lee Ralph, she has experience. She was a dream girl. She's acted. She has acted. I was trying to figure out why we didn't pick Cheryl Lee Ralph for that particular role, who would have embodied that role, because she is a Jamaican mother. I mean, she has, you know what I mean? So things of that nature is kind of what upsets me when we're yes, we have a lot of actors, but why do we have to fake an accent when you can just find a black person who is of a Caribbean descent who could play that role? Just saying.
I agree with you too. I think about my fault. I think about Nina Simone's movie that dropped in 2016 that had Zoe Saldana playing Nina Simone. You know, like that's an example. Like, she's not the same complexion as Nina Simone. Nina Simone was a really, really purely melanated woman, you know what I mean, to the core. And that was what she was about, you know, as an individual, you know, and the fact that they casted that person to play that role is questionable, you know, just for the namesake. So
right.
I mean, the fact that here's my thing with the whole accent thing and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, Hollywood is going to continue to be Hollywood and they cater a lot of their movies to white people because they go to movies and they spend money, and white people don't care about what accent it is. So they're just gonna do whatever they want with it. You know what I'm saying? And for them, it's more it's what it is. It's what it is. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Black people watch movies too.
Black people watch movies.
Black people watch movies too. But what I'm saying is that they get a lot of money.
Yes.
They get a good amount of money from white people, and they don't care, especially with these movies with these trash accents. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're gonna continue with this type of trend, and it's off the strength that the person who they push as the star actor, like whether it's Taye Diggs or who'd you say played Nina
Halle
Simone?
Berry.
Zoe Saldana.
It's because they're popular and they're going to bring people to the theaters. The name of the person, this person that you're saying that has a great accent or could be, that person doesn't have the star power behind them. And if they don't have the star power behind them, they don't care. And even if it's an Egyptian movie, they're gonna have a white person play the Egyptian movie. It's like Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt is gonna bring people to the movies. And at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It's all about the money with them. You know what I'm saying? And do I feel a type of way about it? If I don't like it, I'm just not going to go see the movie, period. If I think, this is trash, I can look at it and be like, nah, this is trash. I'm not going to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how I I'm not going to say voice my opinion, because I'm not really outside telling them, don't go see this movie, even though there are people who are like that. You know what I'm saying?
We are like that. There was
a lot of people who was like that for the Harriet Tubman movie, because the Harriet Tubman movie, I don't know if y'all know, but the young lady who played her was African. She wasn't American black. She was African black, and there was a lot of
even more reason.
There was a lot of woke of the woke community who were against going to see that movie. You know what I'm saying? Off the strength. Right. And I feel like sometimes it just gets very nitpicky. You know what I mean? And I'm just not gonna nitpick with everything. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna go see it. If I think it's a good movie, I'm gonna go see it.
Got
I
you.
feel you. I definitely see that there's like more levels than blackface because y'all touch base with even cultural appropriation with black people and how they play other black people or whatnot. And I think it's to like Shake's point, it's so easy to fall in love with the character because I think even let's say Chadwick Boseman, I don't know if his background is African necessarily or anything like that in terms of culture, but
Correct.
People fell in love with this character for what he portrayed, and it gave everybody like a sense of oneness. This is ours. We're gonna embrace it. But
what character are you talking about that he played?
Black Panther.
Sorry, pardon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Black Panther. But and when I think about it, I don't know the like the view from like maybe what an African person might say as far as and as much as we love the character, they probably like. They could have got blah 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 this and the third, so maybe they're also
that's true. That's true.
So it is very. Part of me is like, yo, so much of this is about being creative and Hollywood. To your point, Shake, is about making the money, and they're gonna grab whichever star.
How would y'all feel if Terrence Howard was Black Panther?
Why would he not? Why can't he?
I can't see him. I just can't see him.
Why can't Terrence Howard be in Black Panther?
But I can't see him as being Black.
Like, you don't think there was light-skinned black people back then?
I'm just asking, like, how would y'all feel if Terrence Howard was Black Panther?
If he played a good role, if he did a good job, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, I can't envision him being Black Panther. I just can't.
Yeah, all I want him to do is just like take off the mask and be like, man, like whatever.
That's what I think about. His name.
You gotta give me man.
That's what I think about.
What do you want?
Whoop that trick.
So look, I
y'all talking about Black Panther, the Marvel Black Panther. Yeah. I'm thinking about Black Panther as far as like Black Panther in the 60s.
No.
Okay.
No.
But to that point, my dark human side was like, yo, would I sit and really watch if somebody really made a movie where white people were slaves and black people was the ones that was like whooping on the white people and whatnot? I don't know why my mind went this way, but then when I was thinking this episode, I'm sitting here like, would I really go to this movie? Like, would that be something that I would support, or would I also be just as offended, or would I be on the side of now you know how it feel type of shit? I don't know how to navigate those emotions for myself. So or maybe I don't think too deep on it to see like what my reaction would want to be. But I think it's deeper than what we see on TV and stuff like that. I love the conversation about it.
Sure.
Lisa Marie, I don't know if we heard from you. Did you say anything about this?
I didn't.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what? It brought me back to, and I can't remember. I know it was on Netflix, but when Spew mentioned Zoe Saldana, how you say her name? A lot of the Afro-Latina or Latino actors and actresses, they did a like a documentary. I think it was on Netflix, and they were talking about how they were always cast in African American roles, and that they weren't used for their diverse Hispanic roles because their dark color didn't allow them to be opened up for it. So on the other side of that, just not even considering ourselves, considering them as well, they're cast into black roles and not utilized for other roles where they can play Hispanics or just utilize the function of their culture. So I think it goes across the whole board. Like, we think about us, but it's like, and then, even broader, thinking about Asians, we always put them in, like, let's be real. We always put those. So it's like, it's more to everybody than what meets the eye. But are we allowing ourselves to function in many different ways where we feel settled? Is it our fault, or is it the fault of the directors who are casting these roles? Are they speaking out? Is it money? What is it? I mean, we have to get to the root, cause of it, and somebody at some point has to speak out.
I agree.
I think, and one more thing I wanted to actually bring up is I feel like the I'm gonna use the word the desideratum for diversity in some of these movies I feel is I feel like it's they're overdoing it to a certain degree, and in some of these movies, I feel like they try to include everybody in the movie, and it ends up just making the movie trash.
Give me an
You know what
example.
I'm saying? I'm talking about a lot. I feel like a lot of the Marvel films that they've been coming out with lately, where they've been trying to be more diverse, especially the ones on Disney Plus that I'm seeing, and I really don't like the character, and I don't like the film, and I feel like at the end of the day, all this diversity, you know what I'm saying, in the movies and shit. At the end of the day, the same people are getting the money though. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit's going back to the same fucking studio that had all these white characters in there before. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for me, it's about who the best person to play the character is. It is not necessarily about the diversity. And I think because you don't want the movie to suffer because you want to try to be as diverse as possible. And I'm not against diversity. I love the diversity in certain things, but not in everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like they've been going so hard to have one gay person and one black person and an Indian person and a Chinese. Like, what the you're doing too much, bro. They doing too much sometimes.
Yeah,
and that's just me.
I agree.
So
I think
that's
it's
just
important
me.
to stick to the source material, right? Whatever the premise or whatever this content is based off of, let's try to stay as close to that as possible. So if we have a film, for example, let's use Carlito's Way, for example, one of my favorite films of all time. Al Pacino played. But even let's look Scarface also. Like he's playing these roles that
Cuban.
fit him.
He played Cuban,
right? But if you went and actually got a Cuban actor, it would probably be more impactful because that person can really embrace that role. Versus this headline who would attract more people. As long as you stick to what the actual message is trying to be conveyed, I'm not mad at it. But once you start sprinkling in shit just for cash grab reasons, then it becomes less authentic and less genuine for me personally.
Right.
But like you said, Shake, just don't go see the fucking movie. Like if you don't like this shit, you don't want to support this shit, don't spend your dollars on it and it won't be a problem.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but you know what? Go ahead.
I do feel like inclusivity or to be inclusive is Desideratum.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, especially for like kid movies, because I think when I see like a kid in the wheelchair, the disabled kid, like you do want to have them feel like there's a representation of them in these roles, and that I can still be an actor if I'm disabled, and if I'm deaf. Like I love that inclusive.
Oh yeah,
I'm so sorry for even doing that, but like. Like if they have disabilities, or seeing like an Asian child or an Asian superhero or a black superhero, I feel like that's supportive for the culture. And I get how it can be a little too much. When I start looking at the commercials, it's very rare that you see like all white couples anymore. It's like white and black, or white and Asian, or black and Asian, or now you even see commercials with same-sex couples. And for me, I love it. I love to see the inclusivity of it, because I do feel like it's needed for people to have representation.
But you know what it is? I'm not trying to be like
it's a money thing too. But
no, but I remember seeing like, I want to say it was like an Eggo commercial, and it was like the white guy, and he's making the Eggo. Then he had the black wife, and then when he got to the table for breakfast, it was like the Chinese kid and the Indian kid and the whatever kid. I'm sitting here like I don't even what are we doing here? It's even about waffles.
What if they were adopted? Family is family.
It ain't even about waffles no more.
It is. No, I'm not mad at it.
I can't.
I do love inclusivity. I do love it. I see that there are pipeline problems. So I even love the fact that there are going to be domino effects. Even like, let's say with the Black Panther, like I love the fact that they got a Mexican actor to go play Namor and really be in tune with like even the mind and the Aztec stuff, whatever. Right. Yeah. And you see how dope the actor still is, and you feel good about it too, because it's like, yo, he's from here. It is what it is. Yeah. So I accept that. Like I said, everybody can be as creative as you want as far as the studios are concerned. I know that they did implement something within the past few years that does say that the studios that produce shows have to have a certain amount of a diversity in them, especially when you're talking about like either the camera people or whatever the case is. So sometimes even when you see certain shows, and it might be like whether it's more black actors, more white actors, I think they do have inclusivity efforts where they can't even win awards unless their crews are made up of a certain percentage of ethnicities or backgrounds or
That's
whatever
very
the case
true.
is. So
Wow.
can I just throw this one part in here? I don't know if y'all watch a lot of Lifetime like I do in TLC.
I love
because
it.
I watch a lot of
Yes.
Ratchet TV with my lady. And sidebar, America is one of the only countries who advertise drugs on their TV, which is crazy to me. But
Really?
we're one of the few countries that advertise drugs on TV.
Wow.
But a lot of the ads that you see for like HIV medication is always got a gay couple in it. Always on the commercial as if only gay people have AIDS. You ever
Correct.
noticed
I was
Correct.
just
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
that. I just saw one the
Yeah.
other day. I was like, why don't they have
it's
straight
the
people?
image,
Because
and
I
it's
don't see
always
straight people that got
it's
hate.
usually like I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't want the community to cover me, but it's always a black gay guy. It's always a black gay guy with a flamboyantly gay couple, and I feel like that imagery is so odd to me. To that be the only that'd be the only group that you want to target. Like that's the only group that actually has this problem that you think watches this show. Like it's kind of crazy to me when I thought about it just now when you said that. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
know.
different. When I see that kind of commercial, I do see they advertise different. You are right. I feel like it's gay, but
They're
I've seen
usually
different
always gay.
colors.
Yeah.
That I've seen. Yeah.
Always gay.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right. I mean, I guess this is something we just got to pay attention to. I'm gonna ask another talking point that I wanted to get to as well. Now, I feel like there are a lot of businesses that use maybe the black likeness once again to gain their money, and I kind of wanted to touch base with how y'all felt about maybe how some of these companies may exploit the black likeness. And I want to give a few companies that I think we wrote down. So, for instance, let's say Popeyes. Popeyes. You heard the stereotype: black people love chicken, this, that, and the third. And if you ever seen the Popeyes commercial, they probably got the black lady who's heading and talking, about the brand and
Southern accent,
Louisiana, and it really gives you a sense of like, this is some good black chicken. Probably, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got Uncle Ben, African Pride, Aunt Jemima, whatever it was or however it was used. But I do feel like they use either the black likeness or the black body or face, whatever it is, and they make money off of that. And these are white majority owned companies, if anything. So do y'all feel, I guess, what are y'all feelings on it?
Any
as far as how
any form of exploitation that doesn't give back to the community is a problem. I feel like if you're going to use our likeness, you're gonna eat off of our magic. You got to be able to give back to that community in some form or fashion. You're going to donate, you're going to do charity work, you're going to do something. But if you're not, that's a problem for me personally. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just bad business practice, I think.
Facts. I think companies are very aware that they've been doing that, and they've been trying to change that. Like the Uncle Ben on the rice, Aunt Jemima with the head tie. She still had the head tie, the scarf.
Yeah, they took that out.
But it wasn't until people started speaking up about it, though.
Yeah.
Right.
But this
and why weren't we talking about this in 2008?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With Tropical Thunder. So
I ain't gonna lie. I bought the Aunt Jemima because it was the black lady on the bottle. I love that bottle.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold
And that's another thing.
No,
that
it was
we're
the syrup,
learning.
bro. The syrup is good, bro.
It's just a coy. You know what I mean? Is no black people run that business, and we're thinking that we're relating it to a black brand, and it's not. None of those brands are owned by black people. So the companies are now being aware of of that, and things are changing, and I'm appreciative of that.
I think they were always aware of it. I just think they're getting more criticism about it now.
Yes.
Like they've always known they've been exploiting us, but now they're getting backlash from us about
now
it.
We're aware.
And I think that we have these type of platforms like Sophisticatedly Ratchet where we can talk about how we feel about these exploitations, and we can really have an impact or cause it to go viral. Let's have a whole worldwide discussion about why this is a problem. That's why we need these platforms like our podcast, like, comment, subscribe.
And I also think oftentimes, just being transparent and honest, we don't fully do the research of the particular item or
For sure.
thing that we're
For sure.
purchasing. For
Take it at
instance,
face
like
value.
we're taking at face value, like African Pride. I know that I have bought tons of African Pride stuff, whether it be
That's a hair product.
spray, it's a hair product, which is braid spray or grease or whatever. But come to find out, it's not Black owned. That's why
some
I bought
products,
that type of,
some
and I'm
companies
like,
and products
what?
change hands. Like it could have started as Black, but then they
It
sell
did,
it.
but then they sell it
That's a
right.
fact.
So
That's a
like I
fact.
know African Pride is actually owned by an Indian conglomerate. You get what I'm saying? Who and they have businesses. This particular conglomerate have businesses all over across Asia, Africa, and North America. But they say that they support that they're diverse in hiring practices across all of their companies. So, that's, I guess, kind of where they're trying to filter
Yo,
what
can
they're doing.
we take a second to give a shout out to Tyler Perry for owning BET?
I was gonna say that.
We got one.
And
We got one.
And VH1.
Shout out to
VH1.
I mean,
that's
that's
a win is a
about to
win.
say
A
that.
win is a
That's a
win.
major,
That's a
big
huge
deal.
win.
That's a major big
Yeah.
deal. Major.
Yeah,
I'm-
question.
deal.
I mess with Tyler Perry, but some of his shows, son.
A lot of his shows.
You
is
leave
trash.
Tyler Perry
Yeah.
alone.
What
Leave
the
Tyler
fuck?
Perry
Leave him
alone.
alone, right?
Black
Leave him
X-Men. That's
rock.
Black X-Men. That's Black
Like,
X-Men.
him rock.
like,
I'm
yo, I
grateful
be,
that we
Y'all
I
better
have-
talk down on Tyler Perry.
I
I
did-
just like Monique, and we'll get backballed out here. Y'all better stop. Don't talk bad about
Exactly.
Perry.
I did told Flash to go to the Tyler Perry studio because I know they just hiring any nigga off the street. Like anybody can be
Nah.
acting with it. Listen, hey,
No,
anyhow,
I don't want to do
Absolutely
that.
not.
Yo,
Anyhow.
wait,
No, you gotta audition, and then he'll probably give you, wait till
Whatever.
you audition. He'll probably give
Whatever.
you a chance after, but
I
you're
get a
not
role.
just gonna hire.
I don't know.
somebody.
Did y'all see Ruthless? Oh, that's what I'm saying. But,
I do watch Ruthless. What's wrong
trash,
with
bro.
Ruthless?
Trash.
I like
but
Ruthless.
it keeps you hooked onto it. But it's the everything is
I
trash.
like
The
Ruthless.
acting
I
is
like
trash. The video, the camera is trash.
Mm-hmm.
It's all trash. But it's whatever.
Whatever. Shit.
For me.
It's not for you.
For
It's
me,
not for you.
for me, I think like Mash said, I feel like if they're gonna use our image, they should definitely be giving back to the Black community. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not always gonna do my research.
Right.
If something is good, I'm gonna use it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black hair grease or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would think that was a Black company, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna do the research. But if it comes about like, you know what I'm saying, like this, that the people who are selling this, it's all white people and this, I would do my best to switch brands at that point. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like there's a negative light on the people who are utilizing our image and not giving anything back to the community. Once I know, now it's like, now I have the knowledge to say, should I continue to use this product? Right. You feel what I'm saying? But if I'm unknowingly using it, I probably would continue to.
All right, exactly.
If I don't know anything,
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I do think we got like a short attention span sometimes because we'll hate like a company for a minute, or we'll see like a company did us dirty.
Yep.
And they'll either apologize or disappear for a while, and
we
maybe
go right
they'll
back.
sprinkle some money around the
new
hood
names.
somewhere.
Sprinkle.
And then it'd be like, hey, we're back, grand opening again. It's like, oh, and we're just, we kind of forget, and that's how fast paced a lot of this society is. But Lisa Marie, I definitely want to.
No, I was just gonna add on to what you said, the accountability factor. Just like what TJ was saying, asking these questions for these companies who are representing, they see us, they see our face, but behind the scenes it's white companies. But are we gonna ask? Are we going to continue to ask? Are we going to continue to exploit them? And then what? Just like you said, it's momentary. We get riled up for a minute and then we fiddle back once they give us an apology, but we're still pouring our money into these companies.
Right.
Lisa Marie,
Flash, yes.
Now I asked you earlier if you was going to buy the shirt from the white man at the stand, and he's the only person on the street.
If she don't know,
she was like, no. She said no. She started with no, and I think she ended with no. Now I'm curious, how does Lisa Marie shop then? Because like, do you feel like you are, you're using like intent between saying like, hey, I want the Black purchase. I'm looking. I'm doing the research. How do you either get better at that, or how do you, I guess, like affect where your money goes?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, just like we were just talking about, there are companies where I haven't done my research.
Mhm.
I haven't, I didn't know, you know.
Mhm.
And so for me now, being more aware, it's like I'm gonna fiddle back. I don't eat at you know, Popeyes anyway, but I mean other companies that I can consider, you know. And then again, asking the question, where is this money going to? But then I'm just one person. So what are we gonna do as a community to make we already know that we can make a difference as far as plummeting numbers, but it's just
Yeah.
utilizing that force and doing so. So I don't know. We're good, like you said, we're good with taking in apologies for short term. And then once we get it and we feel like we're at a good place, we
Start
continue
giving them
to
extra
shop.
money.
And I
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
piggyback on something you said, and that's the thing. If we could all just band together,
Yes.
we could do stuff. But 9 out of 10 times, we're not going to do that. I'm going through an
Nope.
experience right now on my job where it's a collective of managers. And if we would all just band together and we're strength in numbers, and out of, I would say, I'm just going to give a number, maybe like, let's just say 200 managers, and we're currently doing something on our job, I would say 12 out of 200 managers. 12 is who's going forward with our particular situation. And to me, I'm like, but these are the same people that complain, the same people that want to see change, but is not willing to step forward to handle business. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and we're all of, and most of us, most of the managers, I'm going to say, is of a minority descent.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we have to
Yeah.
check in with ourselves and ask the
Yeah.
question, like, why can't we all band together? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And when it comes to like our Black dollars, like we do need groceries, you know what I'm saying? Or we do need to go to work. When you say go on strike, like if my
Right.
job is gonna say like you can't work anymore, it's
Correct.
like I need my
Yeah.
money. I have
My
to
money.
feed my
Yeah.
family. So it's about sacrifice and commitment. Like
Yep.
is everybody able to
Mhm.
sacrifice? Is everybody able to commit?
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, there's definitely a Desideratum for unity.
Oh boy,
amongst
you
Black
just
people.
Love it.
I'm
Love it.
glad you
I
did
love
it.
it.
You got it.
I feel like it's necessary. But yo, I kind of wanted to go back a little bit. I wanted to backtrack to what I think Mo was talking about as far as somebody was talking about as far as with food, like, you know, it may have been a Black person that owned it originally, and then it just automatic, and then somebody and then white people
hands.
ended up taking it over. I remember an episode of Atlanta. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but it was an episode of Atlanta where this guy would go. One of the characters, they were in Europe, and he would go to this place because they had the best jollof, and it was owned by Africans. You know what I'm saying? And it was such a great place. And then all of a sudden, he goes there. The place is shut down. There's a white lady in the front cooking the jollof in front of the place, the same jollof, because they sold the business to her, and she freaking took it over. But at the end of the day, like, for me is okay. If they sold the place to her, right, and she paid them, this black family, and they profited from it, is she wrong for being out there cooking the jollof, like, to take over the business? Is it still wrong?
I don't. So
good jollof.
That
it was good jollof. That's why she took it over. She got their recipe. She got everything, and she was cooking the jollof in the front.
You know, I'm conflicted because there have been times where I'm hungry and I go into a taco spot and there's not Hispanic people behind.
Correct.
Times I bought pizza. Spanish people. Spanish people make some of the best pizza. I ain't even gonna hold you. You would think Italians got
They're everywhere. They're in every
make a
restaurant.
bomb ass pepperoni, my nigga.
Yes.
I'm being honest. So it just depends on my level of hungriness. Now, I question a lot of things when I walk into a lot of places, and I do look at how I'm represented or how I feel. You know, me and Mash had got to I remember me and Mash actually walked into a restaurant one time, and you know, we walking, and you know, we over here being jovial, joking, and as we getting deeper into the restaurant, I was sitting here like something feels wrong. And then we start looking around the restaurant, and we realize there are no Black people in here. They don't even work in here. They're not even at the tables, whatever the case is. And I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but it definitely makes me question, once again, where's my money? Like, what kind of food y'all got? Are y'all representing me right? Is there any Black love at all? You know, so I don't know. I try to be present when I'm like buying stuff and buying food, but it's not for everything. So I get what y'all saying, because then you got to live your life on really like a subset of what you can buy, and you're gonna have to be very critical because I can't buy certain cars, or I can't use certain soap or whatever the case. So it gets to a level where you got at some point you got to say, I'm going to give my money to something. But yeah. It's hard though. It's hard to navigate.
And I'm sure it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of Black creators too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get to a certain point, you want to sell. You know, if I created like Black Planet and it got as big as Facebook, Instagram, something like that,
and you want to
and
sell it, make
somebody
money.
wants to buy it for $400 million, you know what I mean? I'm like, ugh, do I sell Black Planet like how they sold BET to like white people? You know what I mean?
Right,
like, so it's a catch-22.
It
It
is.
is, yo.
But is that does that call in morality or your business stance? Like, if you know that you're selling to a white person, you're selling this Black originated brand to a white person, you know, does that make you think twice about it? I would imagine so. If you care, like if you care, you would think twice
absolutely.
about it, right?
Yeah,
what do you care about?
Think
do you care about the culture, or do you care about your family?
About yourself, right? I was
this is generational wealth for your family.
I was gonna say that. Like, you may think about, damn, you know, I would prefer this go to a Black person. I would prefer to sell to a Black person. But we all gotta be transparent. But $400 million. Now you know that this is a not only that, but you know, it may not be something you necessarily want to do, but you're thinking about the bigger picture. I can now maybe create something else. I can now support my family, like we said, generational wealth. So you think about what you could gain from that 400 million, whether you sell it to a white person or not, because at that point, that type of money you could do more with. That's what I'm.
Lisa Marie, you have a lot of followers. What if someone approached you with a certain amount of money? Would you sell it to a white person?
No,
I
wouldn't. But I want to ask you this question. I want to ask you this question with this supposed, you know, situation. You had BET. Someone white came to you and they wanted to, you know, 400 million. And you're thinking and you sell it. Are you afterwards? Or even in the midst of you thinking, are you wondering how BET is going to look afterwards when you sell it?
I kind of am.
So no, I'm going to tell you this. There are a lot of companies that you can still sell it, but say, I want to be on the board. You know what I mean? So anything that comes through, you can say, I'm selling it, but I want to make sure that the board is very diverse. You know, and or that I would like to be on the board. Yeah, I would sell because I have to look out for my people. You know what I'm saying? My family, and then yes, the diaspora, right? But so yes, I would sell with contingencies. I want to make sure that I am on the board. I also want to make sure that, you know, the board is very diverse. And I'm talking about men, women, Black, you know, with our culture and within gender, sexuality, everything. I want to make sure that it's diverse so it represents everybody. And that's something that a lot of people, when they sell companies, that's something that they can ask for. Like, I want to say, like the hair companies like Shea Moisture, as the bigger they get, there's bigger companies like L'Oreal that want to take over them and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this specifically for Shea Moisture, but they can say, I still want to be on the board because I am, you know, a natural woman that created this and I still have a connection to it.
I think that's a good shot option.
I see that a lot too, especially when people do sell but they still get to maintain like creative director or something like that. So I hear it, because I don't want to say I would never ever sell something either that I built up, but that's hard for me too, because part of me is like, why am I selling this? Is it really for money reasons, or can I just let this thing go out with, you know, as a legendary, he owned this, blah blah blah? Because I can't care about it what happened after me, just to be honest. You know, it's like we try to tie ourselves to something for so long, but truly nothing is yours forever. But your memory, I guess, is going to be like, yeah, he owned it from blase blah to blase blah, and that's what people will see. And I think just having the that piece where somebody, and I say this mainly for like Black people too, because some of us don't necessarily know what we're capable of until we see it too. So it's like, just to even know like a Black person owned this company or this position or whatever, it's like we need indicators of that so we can make more. So I'm just more happy that that's one of the results of like owning something. People get to say like, you did that.
Absolutely.
Shout out to these Slutty vegan, by the way. I don't know. We're talking about her or talking about owning stuff, and I'm just watching her as she builds her brand, and she's crushing it and killing it. Shout out to her. She's also Jamaican. She goes by the name of, is it Pinky?
Pinky.
Yeah, I think
Pinky.
it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
she's
Pinky.
by the name of Pinky, but she is also Jamaican of Jamaican descent. And I've just been watching her build her brand, and she talks about why she has not sold it yet because people have approached her to sell, and she's like, I just want to have full autonomy and direction of where it goes, because if you've gone into any of her shops, it's very Black culture centered.
It is. It is.
Yeah. And so she wants to keep that, like, control. But also I have heard her speak about how if she did go public with it, how she wants to like support all the people that have ever worked for her. Like everyone would get a percentage of the company. And I was like, that's really sexy. And it's the thought process of supporting her culture and supporting the people that helped her create it in a different way that you don't actually hear about. So we're trying to model Sophisticatedly Ratchet right after her brand, by the way. She's everywhere. She's in Target. She has dog food. She has a bar. She created Bar Vegan.
I'm all for that. I wouldn't exactly say we model her 100% because she in court right now for not paying all her employees. They got a lawsuit against her for not paying
really? I didn't know
overtime.
that.
We're not gonna speak on it. This is the Black Excellence
I didn't
Podcast.
mean that sense.
We don't want to model them
I love that
100%.
she's
You know,
gone
we like the
everywhere.
idea.
I could see Sophisticatedly Ratchet everywhere and on everything. And she's definitely done a really good job branding. And you know what? And that's exactly what she says. When you become an owner, you have to think about all those things. Like she said, that's one of her fears. And that's so crazy that we have to be careful about what we manifest, because we manifest the things that we're so fearful of. She said, every day I look at my phone. I watched an interview because I follow her. I watched an interview where she said, I look at my phone every day and see if I have any litigations.
Ooh.
Because when you want money or you want success so bad, you're scared that success is not going to be forever. When is this going to end? And so we got to be careful of us being so fearful of it, because you end up manifesting that.
I love this quote that I got on my wall. It says, "If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough." I feel like that's one of the realest. If they don't scare you, then you got to make a bigger dream, 100%. And I dream that one day we have to have a conversation with someone where we decide if we want to sell our product. And when we decide that we want to sell Sophisticatedly Ratchet, it's going to be on our terms with an exuberant amount of money associated with it, so we can feel good about our decision.
And we're on the board to, control it.
All right. So,
This is a good one.
This is the part of the episode where you kind of got to tie things up.
The sad part.
Over.
Even though we don't want to do this, there's a desideratum to do this. There's a desideratum to do this. Damn it!
Get that.
Okay?
You know what?
Because we have
y'all on fire today.
I know y'all are.
He said it wrong again, though. He said it wrong again. But okay,
I said it twice just to make sure one of them was right. Okay.
Anyway,
so before I end this podcast, I actually, and I don't know if Lisa Marie ready, because I wanted to. Oh, okay. She's making a face like I was wrong. Okay, I'm right. I'm wrong. I'm not. I don't know. But Lisa Marie, you got one of your pieces that you kind of want to bless before we cut it off today.
Let me see.
All right. And once again, if you never heard Lisa Marie's work, you definitely got to go follow her. She's on IG at seasoned_dialogue. I want to say she's on YouTube right now as well. Please go follow her YouTube channel. She's going to give you probably all them drops in a bit. But Lisa Marie, the floor is yours.
Lisa has 2 pages on Instagram.
Well, one of them is fake, I believe. Oh, no. You're right. No, you're right. Sorry. You got 2 pages.
Ooh, don't play with me like that.
I know.
Oh, goodness. So the person seeking, hoping, trying to find themselves in a world that shows them several versions of what they could be, I'd offer you this. Stay right there. In a hurry to define yourself, articulating your purpose and finding the meaning of life is perhaps on hold until you recognize the value of self. Most notably, your goodness, your essence, your style, your being, your you. Many times we subject ourselves to masks, multiple assets of coverings, refining, altering, perfecting our outside self, only to find none of these are the true us? How many versions of them must you pretend to be until you recognize that this version is sufficient? Because who you are is an ever-evolving you, and the core of all of you is just you. So I guess the question is, who better than you? Why would you want to be any of them? And why do you think that you are not enough? So when the world convinces you through idyllic photoshopped physicalities and fake personas that your you is not enough, will be the years you keep spinning the block and changing faces because you convince yourself that the person you are will never be enough. So again, before you go, consider this. Just stay right there and be you.
Yes.
Push
Love
the
it,
button.
Lisa
Push
Marie.
the button.
Yes,
That's a
Lisa
word.
Marie.
You know what came up for me as she
said
said that?
Wow. What was that?
It's
What
our
came up?
slogan. It's
That's a
Mm.
fact.
In a
keeping it
real,
real in a world of fake.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
thanks.
Being your true authentic self. Yes.
What stuck in my mind was mask, the acronym that you use for
Yes.
mask. That was real.
Fire.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
I like that a
Yes.
lot.
she's dope.
Wow.
Good
She's
writing. I
You're
dope.
love
dope, Lisa
That-
Marie.
Thank
Check
you.
out
Thank
season
you.
dialogue,
you.
y'all.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
season dialogue.
It's a treat.
TJ, do you want to bring us out with a 2020 twin?
Sure. Do we want to do our word of the week first?
Oh shit! Yo, look, I was
It's
trying
a
to get by that.
tie.
I thought we do that after though. We do that after
Yeah.
the 2020 twin.
We can.
Yeah, we can do
All
it
right,
after.
guys. Thank you guys for
All right,
listening to another episode of the Sophisticatedly Ratchet podcast. You so ratchet. Thank you to our special guest. She's such a treat. Check her out, Lisa Marie, at seasoned_dialogue on IG and all her other platforms that will be locked down below and in our show notes. Thank you guys for just listening and being with us today. You can find us everywhere you hear podcasts. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon has podcasts. What else? We're on IG at SoRatchet Podcast. We're on TikTok at SoRatchet Podcast. We're on Twitter at SoRatchet Pod. We're on YouTube at SoRatchet Space Podcast, where you can see our beautiful and handsome faces. We are the tribe. You are the tribe. Keep it real in a world of fake. Hit the like button right now. Hit the follow button right now. Hit the notifications button right now. The subscribe button right now. Shares with a friend. That's it.
Can we use this opportunity to get Lisa Marie to commit to joining the live when this episode dropped because she's such a special guest for us?
We would love to have you.
Yeah,
every
definitely.
first Wednesday we go live.
Okay.
Every first Wednesday of the month we go live on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love for you to pop out. The tribe would love to see you. That's our opportunity to connect with the tribe. Tribe, pop out every first Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.
Okay.
Yo, Lisa Marie, just plug yourself one more time. Please tell the tribe where to find you, and all that good stuff.
You can find me on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Season Dialogue, the podcast, if you want to listen audio. And you can find me on YouTube, Season Dialogue, Instagram and TikTok, Season Dialogue, Season_dialogue.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. To have you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And can we get the spoken word of the week?
It's two shake and flash y'all a tie to. It's a tiebreaker needed.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go first.
Let's go.
Last time you went first. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I feel like the SoRatchet podcast is really dope, and when we get guests like Lisa Marie who get to drop knowledge on this podcast, it's such a desideratum for everyone.
Yes. Okay. Shake it up next.
I thought you got the bell.
I didn't think. Damn, I thought I was gonna go first. Show. I was.
I know. Say, that's why I got it. That's what. Go ahead, though. I liked it.
I was gonna say there was no need for this final challenge between me and dang it. I messed it up. Hold up. Can we do it again?
It's over. You lose, bro. You lose.
Dang it.
That's
Give
it.
up. He gave up.
Flash. I think he
Anyway,
gave up.
Flash. Good
Yeah, he
job.
gave
Flash,
up.
you
I
won.
knocked him out. That was the last one that he stole from me. 'Cause he
We
stole
gonna
my
knock
sentence
him
last time.
out like fight night. You got knocked out, Shake.
Good job,
Right.
bro.
But anyway, yo, tribe, I want to tell y'all that we appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning
Thank
in
you.
every week to the
Word,
SoRatchet podcast. We love
Facts.
y'all. We love bringing y'all these episodes. You know, make sure y'all tune into Lisa Marie's page, Season Dialogue. Go check her out. Her work is
Yes.
fabulous and fantastic and all the things. Okay. Make sure y'all tune in next Wednesday because we here, everybody. All right, y'all.
Gang.
All right, peace, tribe.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.